All right. You may wonder why. In fact, there's a Shelby Boss 302 guy playing around with a Dodge Challenger. Well, this happens to be a rental car, and it came out of Colorado. So I made a joke to the rental agency about Vanishing Point. They had no clue what I was referencing. If anybody's ever seen the movie, it's about a 70 Dodge Challenger that has to be delivered. It has Colorado plates from somewhere in Colorado to San Francisco, I guess it was. And the guy made a bet that he could deliver the car in like a day. And it's a wild road chase. So, good movie. Can highly recommend it. I don't think a lot of people know about it anymore. But this car was a rental. I go up to Road America with my son on the Friday afternoon. And I was very surprised. I was given the option between a pickup truck and this black Challenger that was sitting in the lot. It was just sitting there. I thought it was a customer car because there is a repair shop, an automotive repair shop next door. So I thought it might have been a customer car waiting for repair. Nope, as it turns out, it was a rental. And not surprisingly, I jumped all over that. I've never driven a Challenger before. I have a soft spot for Chrysler products. And yeah, it was a no-brainer to me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna rent the thing. And it ran like a champ. It's a GT, so not surprisingly it's a 6-cylinder. It's not the top of the end. But I like how it rode. It was very comfortable driving up. The air conditioning blew so cold it was freezing my hands on the steering wheel, even with driving gloves. Yeah, I wear driving gloves. I don't care what anybody thinks about it. That's me. That's my style. So be it. But in any event, I could recommend renting a Challenger. Now I have to return the car at 11 o'clock this morning or it turns into a pumpkin. So, is this over and above what a renter should do for a car? Of course it is, but I love cars, what can I say? I also love detailing. Black, it's badass. I got a thumbs up from some guy driving a 392 up at Road America. I guess there's some sort of a little unwritten rule between Mopar owners, or particularly Challenger owners, that they acknowledge each other. I was too slow on the draw. I just saw it after he had passed, so, or just as he was passing actually, so I couldn't give him the thumbs up in return, but so be it. I am using Jack's Wax, by the way, liquid carnauba. I don't get paid for any product placement. Just a wax I bought at the Corvette and Muscle Car Nationals a couple of years ago. Looks good. The guy sold me on it, and it does a pretty good job. Very good job, actually, more than pretty good. So you really can't go wrong with carnauba. And it's shining up pretty nice after the wash. I think they're going to be shocked when I bring this back. I don't think they've ever had a customer wash and wax a car for them before it got returned. So, I'll go over to the other side here. I'll pause the video because I don't know how much time I have left on this phone. Right, wax on, wax off, as the Karate Kid teacher taught. And this is coming out pretty nice here. Just give me a moment. That was the old man coming out to see what all the commotion was out here. He's 96 and a half years old, always wants to get involved with the action. I asked him if he liked the car. He's a Ford guy. Yesterday he liked it. Today he's not crazy about the car at all. I asked him if he liked it. He said no. Pretty unequivocally too. Well, I like the car, so as the saying goes, to each their own. What I find interesting is how Dodge does the windshield. It's a piece of glass that's laid in, but there's no rubber stripping. You'll see here, there's no rubber stripping over the top. And as car owners, most of you, if not all of you, know that the rubber stripping here that goes between tends to get damaged by ultraviolet light. It starts to fade. The blacks actually starts to come off when you're doing a wax job on the car. So I kind of like, it's unique how they just laid it in there flat with the glass edge showing. Something I hadn't experienced before. And as you see, it is a Colorado plate. It's got that vanishing point feel about it. And the wax is going on and coming off pretty good, I'd say. This poor car had some detritus on the paint. I think it was sap, tree sap that dripped on it. Who knows where that happened. It was a bit of a pain to get off, but actually what I did was I used a few drops of olive oil and it took it right off the back there after like a minute. It sat there for a minute and then it just came right off. There's a little bit on the hood here that they noted. It's now a little bit of a stain, but it was pretty bad when I got the car. And I used, well, I washed the car and most of it came off. I think it was tree sap. It might have been bird crap too. And that will destroy your paint. You got to get that off ASAP. And being that this is a rental, I'm sure that it was not a priority with the rental agency to get that stuff off. Not trying to cast aspersions on the rental agency, but running a business and time is money. My time is money too, but this is a labor of love, man. Poor car needed attention, so I gave it the needed attention she needed. The funniest part was, as I was washing the car, the headlights would come on. It's like the car was almost like, oh, it's waking up. Oh, thank you for the car wash. Now I know it was these two key fobs rubbing together, or was it? You know, Christine, that was a Dodge Plymouth Chrysler product. So maybe they engineer something into the cars that we don't know about. Look at the other side over here. Probably now's a good time to pause the video. I think the old man needs some food to make him some breakfast, so I will be back shortly. Sorry about that. Curious neighbors coming out. Did you buy another car? You have another car? Where are you going to put it? Like everybody wants to know what's going on in the neighborhood. So it's just a rental. I'm waxing a rental that I'll never see again. Why I'm doing it, who knows? I guess I love cars that much, and it was awfully nice of them to rent me a Challenger. That was, like I said, a surprise that really knocked me over. So I was very happy to rent it and drive it. And let's continue using the Jack's wax. Good name. It just spreads on there, and I'm not sure what this hood's made of. Crack the hood again and check. But I think it's could be fiberglass or some composite material. It might even be aluminum. I'll have to look that up. But it has the intake here, which can lead the untrained eye to suspect, oh, this is a big bad Hemi. No, it's just a 6-cylinder. But I think that the Hemis and the 392, well, the Hellcats and Hemis, they have two vents, one on each side. So the trained eye would know that it doesn't have those air extractors on the opposite sides of the hood to let the hot air out to vent the engine heat. But just motoring along in a black Challenger that looks like this, looks like I'm ready to rob a bank. It has that 1968 bullet feel about it. Certainly was prideful driving this thing. Certainly not a supercar by any stretch of the imagination, but You can certainly have a lot of pride driving the Challenger, in my opinion. Now, I know that's sacrilege to all the Ford guys and Chevy guys out there, and I'm a Ford guy. If you've visited my channel, you'll obviously know what I have and my position on Ford. I'm clearly a Ford guy, but I keep an open mind to this stuff. Dodge Challenger with a Hemi? I think I might like one someday. I might actually like one. You can have your electric vehicles. That's a hard pass for me. No thank you. Not for me. Now, they're really pushing them, the EVs. I heard just recently that Porsche is really going hardcore on their EVs. I think the 918 Boxster, or not the 918, that's a hybrid supercar, the 718. They're trying to go completely EV on that, and the Porsche Cayman. So those will all be hybrids by 2025, did they say? Which is a tragedy. Have fun waiting at the charging stations. Now, you know, net zero, who knows? I'm all about protecting the environment, but we're just not there yet. We have not reached that point. From what I'm told, anyway, from what I hear, it's on its way, but maybe give it a few years, maybe a few hundred years. I'm of the opinion technology does not move as fast as people think it does. Just look at the movie history. Various movies like Blade Runner. It says Los Angeles, 1996 or 1998, whatever the year was. We did not have flying cars in 1998 or flying billboards. In any event, I'm going to rub the wax off on here. Wax off. Maybe I talk too much. Keep my mouth shut and just wax the car. As I said, I don't think there's another rental customer they have that's ever washed and waxed one of their cars. But if there was ever a car to wash and wax, I think this is the car to do it. I'm actually quite enjoying this. Who's next? Bring your car over. Bring your Hemis, your Barracudas, your Challengers, your Z28, pardon me, Z28 Camaros. There's my Canadian accent slipping through. Bring them over. I'll wash and wax them. It's a nice car. I'll do it for nothing, like I'm doing right now. When I'm driving this car, I particularly like this little bulge over the hood. It's like it's a little pathfinder. It's a nice added feature that just staring out over that in the hood, over the hood while driving. This car drove very nicely on the interstate. It's only a 6, but compare this 6-cylinder to the 6 cylinders of ages ago. This rides like a V8 from the 60s. So, sorry to say, the technology changes, right? I don't know how the Charger's going to fare. Well, actually I do. I have a good suspicion the electric Charger, the EV Charger that they're rolling out or have already rolled out. We're now July 13th, 2024, so I think that's going to be a sales disaster for Stellantis. Big mistake to drop the gas line of cars. Big mistake to drop the Challenger. I mean, maybe you could make some improvements on things like suspension, I don't know. This car seemed to handle pretty good. Wasn't doing hole shots with it, obviously, and I wasn't on a road course with it. Just went up to Road America to look at the race cars in the paddocks, the Brian Redman Challenge, WeatherTech Championship. This hood is looking mighty shiny. They are going to be pleasantly surprised, or maybe they don't even care. But I care. Poor car needs this love and attention. That looks to be about it. I will sign off and wash and wax the rest of the car and do a side-by-side with the Laguna Seca, 2 black cars. Signing off. Take care.